What if I told you that most of your decisions aren't really yours? The way you fall in love, lose motivation, trust the wrong people, or even sabotage yourself. It's not random. It follows psychological patterns. In this video, you're about to discover 80 powerful psychology facts about human behavior that explain why people think, feel, and act the way they do. Some of these will surprise you, a few might expose you, and at least one will completely change how you see yourself. So, put your headphones on. Let this play in the background and listen carefully. This isn't just a video. It's an experience your mind will process long after it ends. Stay until the end. Your mind will thank you. Emotions can spread from one person to another. This phenomenon is known as emotional contagion. Crying, for example, releases stress hormones and can improve your mood afterward. Emotional pain is processed in some of the same brain regions as physical pain, particularly the anterior cingulate cortex. When emotions are constantly suppressed, the body may respond with physical symptoms such as headaches or high blood pressure. Smiling, even if it is forced, can signal the brain to generate feelings of happiness. Anger increases the sense of control, which explains why people often become angry when they feel powerless. Emotional responses occur faster than rational thought. The brain feels before it analyzes. Among all emotions, fear activates more areas of the brain than any other. Emotionally intense experiences are remembered more vividly, a phenomenon referred to as the flashbulb memory effect. Empathy has both emotional and cognitive components. You can feel another person's pain while also understanding it intellectually. On average, women tend to be more emotionally expressive than men, influenced in part by social conditioning. Excessive emotional suppression can eventually lead to emotional numbness. Love and fear trigger very different chemical reactions in the brain. Oxytocin is associated with love, while cortisol is linked to fear. Individuals with higher emotional intelligence generally report greater happiness. Emotions can also manifest physically, such as butterflies in the stomach or tightness in the chest. Body language does not only reflect emotions, it can actively shape them. Guilt is considered a uniquely human emotion connected to moral awareness. Listening to sad music can paradoxically elevate mood. Nostalgia, though bittersweet, often improves emotional state and reduces loneliness. Emotional pain frequently lasts longer than physical pain. Emotions influence memory recall. People in positive moods tend to remember more positive experiences. Those who experience emotions deeply often display higher creativity. Awe can expand your perception of time and increase patience. Shame and guilt activate different brain regions, with shame more closely tied to self-image. Mood swings are not always indicators of mental illness. They can result from hormonal or environmental factors. Feeling emotionally supported reduces the intensity of negative emotions. Individuals with strong emotional intelligence can detect micro-expressions in others. Dopamine is released when you experience excitement or joy. Love can temporarily impair rational judgment by decreasing activity in areas of the brain associated with critical thinking. Regularly expressing gratitude enhances emotional well-being. Men and women may process emotions differently, with men often engaging more logic-oriented brain regions. Basic facial expressions are universally recognized across cultures. Emotional vulnerability fosters deeper connections, though stronger attachment can also intensify emotional pain when hurt. Anger can be constructive when expressed in healthy ways. Prolonged emotional stress may lead to burnout. People in love often experience lower serotonin levels, similar to patterns observed in obsessive-compulsive tendencies. Jealousy combines fear, insecurity, and comparison. Emotional awareness supports better life decisions, and your emotional reaction to an event can have a greater impact than the event itself. Physical touch helps regulate emotional states. Hugs lower cortisol and increase oxytocin. Lighting and color environments can influence mood. Children learn emotional regulation by observing their parents. Fear heightens the senses, while sadness can dull them. If a man avoids kissing during intimacy, It may signal an emotional barrier, a fear of vulnerability or closeness. Physical contact may feel comfortable, yet emotional intimacy can trigger discomfort, rooted in past trauma, attachment patterns, or fear of being fully seen. Repressed emotions often surface as muscle tension or fatigue. Laughter improves mood by stimulating endorphin release. Some individuals experience alexithymia, difficulty identifying and describing their own emotions. If this insight shifted your perspective, like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to understand this. Some individuals struggle to recognize and clearly identify their own emotions, a condition often linked to alexithymia. In contrast, emotionally intelligent people tend to manage disagreements more effectively and resolve conflicts with greater balance. Rumination, the habit of replaying negative thoughts repeatedly, amplifies distress and deepens negative emotional states. Practices such as meditation strengthen emotional regulation and increase awareness of internal experiences. The brain does not clearly distinguish between a real emotional event and one that is vividly imagined. Simply picturing a stressful situation can activate the same physiological response as actually experiencing it. Emotions arise in milliseconds, long before conscious awareness labels them. By the time the mind identifies what it is feeling, the emotional reaction has already begun. Interestingly, emotionally intense memories are not always more accurate. The stronger the emotion attached to an event, the more likely the memory is to become distorted or exaggerated over time. People with elevated anxiety levels often interpret neutral facial expressions as negative, unconsciously detecting threats where none exist. Emotion shapes perception. Individuals who feel sad may literally perceive the world as darker, as mood can influence visual interpretations, such as brightness and contrast. Putting feelings into words can reduce their intensity. This method, known as affect labeling, is commonly used in therapeutic and mindfulness practices. Language itself shapes emotional experience. Certain cultures have words for feelings that do not exist in others, influencing how those emotions are understood and expressed. Some commonly shared safety beliefs suggest avoiding drinks if ice is not floating, refraining from sleeping with windows open, lying flat on your back during a falling elevator, or leaving a note to detect intruders. Parking a car facing outward is often recommended to reduce panic-related hesitation in emergencies. Between 3 and 4 a.m., the body is physiologically at one of its weakest points, a period when many natural deaths occur during sleep. It is often claimed that each person has several near-identical lookalikes in the world. Forgetfulness is sometimes associated with higher intelligence, and people may be more honest when fatigued. A complete absence of conflict in a relationship can reflect disengagement rather than harmony. When unprepared for a test, the fight-or-flight response may activate, triggering avoidance impulses. Smiling is frequently perceived as more attractive than cosmetic enhancement. Some individuals experience synesthesia, the blending of senses such as hearing colors or tasting words. Pleasant scent can significantly increase perceived attractiveness. Certain phobias may have genetic components. Over the course of a decade, personal identity, preferences, and desires often shift substantially. Financial literacy influences long-term outcomes. Without understanding systems such as taxation, individuals may work harder without proportional gain. It is sometimes argued that wealth accumulation often relies more on strategic legal structuring than increased labor. Heavier wine bottles are often perceived as higher quality, though this can be a marketing cue rather than a guarantee. Practical advice frequently circulates. guiding a trapped bird toward visible daylight by darkening interior spaces, placing a muffin liner beneath a popsicle to prevent dripping, tasting salt to disrupt cigarette cravings, or adding small amounts of oil to boiling water to reduce foam. Some claims, such as pressing vending machine buttons in specific sequences for free drinks, persist as urban myths. White vinegar is widely used for weed control, and leaning in with the right ear during conversation may enhance speech processing, as it can be more attuned to rapid language rhythms. A variety of everyday tips are often shared as quick solutions to common problems. For minor burns, some suggest applying white toothpaste as a temporary soothing layer. Runners are sometimes advised to exhale when the left foot strikes the ground to help prevent cramps. If a lock freezes, hand sanitizer can assist, as its alcohol content may help melt the ice. A blow dryer can quickly remove fog from a mirror by warming the surface. When cleaning vomit, covering it with ground coffee is said to reduce odor and absorb moisture, making removal easier. In parking regulations, a handicapped space typically requires an official sign to be legally enforceable. A painted wheelchair symbol alone may not always be sufficient. When meeting someone new, asking what they enjoy doing rather than what they do for work often sparks more engaging conversation and reveals personality. Chocolate is toxic to dogs, affecting their heart and nervous system. Painting the tops of caps can make them easier to distinguish. Peeling a banana from the bottom can reduce the stringy fibers that cling to the fruit. Applying a small amount of petroleum jelly to earrings may reduce irritation for those with sensitive ears. To simplify microwave cleaning, placing a bowl of water inside and heating it for several minutes creates steam that loosens residue. Excessive exposure to negative news has been associated with increased depressive symptoms and a distorted perception of reality. Dreams about falling are commonly interpreted as reflecting feelings of lost control or abandonment. Some parents create an email account for their child at birth, sending messages and photos over the years to be shared later in life. Research suggests it can take 2 to 4 years to truly know someone, and couples who wait that long before marriage may reduce the likelihood of divorce. Using public Wi-Fi without permission can, in certain circumstances, have legal consequences. The urge to check your phone while spending time with someone may indicate your level of interest. Sitting at the front of a classroom can increase visibility and memorability. The idea that being the smartest person in the room means you are in the wrong environment reflects the value of surrounding yourself with challenge and growth. Many consider bedtime an optimal moment for intimacy. Maintaining positive social connections has been linked to increased longevity. Subtle hints, such as mentioning a movie someone wants to see, can signal interest. The body sometimes associates pain with visual focus. Looking away after minor injury may reduce perceived intensity. Keeping a battery-powered radio in an emergency kit ensures access to updates during power outages, and modern devices may include solar or hand crank charging. Smelling rubbing alcohol has been shown in some cases to reduce nausea. Those who make you laugh during difficult times often hold significant emotional value. Silence between two people can reveal comfort or tension more clearly than words. When someone mirrors your energy, it may indicate subconscious investment in the connection. Cynical sayings suggest that many people show little concern for others' problems, though such claims oversimplify human empathy. Drop a comment with your experience. Real growth begins with honest insight. Subscribe to keep evolving. Humor is often associated with intelligence and honesty. making it an attractive trait. Sadness and anger are among the hardest emotions to fake convincingly. Situations are temporary and emotional states change over time. Research in social psychology indicates that individuals are more likely to engage in questionable behavior when they can avoid direct refusal or responsibility. Anger can heighten possessiveness, increasing desire for objects associated with angry cues. Attempting to please everyone can lead to personal dissatisfaction. Having too many priorities dilutes focus. Investing deeply in someone who does not reciprocate can create imbalance and emotional strain. Your worth is not defined by someone else's inability to recognize it. When people behave rudely, they reveal their character, not yours. There is no need to respond to disrespect. Do not internalize it. Sometimes silence is the strongest answer. Life requires balance. Be kind, but never allow yourself to be mistreated. Trust others, but remain aware. Be content with what you have, yet committed to growth. Displaying every weakness to the world can invite exploitation rather than support. Waiting for change without taking action is like standing at a bus stop expecting a train. Overthinking fuels much of our unhappiness. Staying mentally engaged in productive pursuits helps prevent spirals of unnecessary worry. Optimism strengthens resilience. Courage is not always loud. Sometimes it is the quiet decision at the end of a difficult day to try again tomorrow. Distance yourself from those who refuse accountability and consistently shift blame onto you. Strive to become the person you once needed. Do not fear slow progress, fear stagnation. When someone's love fades, their attitude shifts first, followed by their tone. Be mindful of whom you trust with personal struggles. Not everyone who smiles at you has your best interests at heart. Your happiness should never depend entirely on someone else. While no one can forcibly change another person, individuals can inspire transformation. You are not always responsible for your first thought, but you are accountable for the second and for your actions. Disagreement is natural, but respect is essential. Treat others as you wish to be treated and speak to them as you would like to be addressed. Live life according to your values. Even those who care about you cannot walk beside you at every step. You cannot change someone who sees no problem in their behavior. You can only control your response. Beneath pain lies a lesson. Beneath sorrow lies hope. Beneath struggle lies courage. Your current reality reflects the choices you have made. Different choices lead to different outcomes. Not everyone is meant to stay in your future. Some people enter your life only to teach you something. Avoid returning to the past seeking happiness, justification, or excuses. Accept the world as it is and yourself as you are while still striving to improve. Financial status can distort perception. When you have money, you may forget certain realities. Without it, others may overlook you. Before speaking, let your words pass through 3 filters. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Persistent indifference from someone often signals your reduced importance in their life. Do not push away those who genuinely care, because absence can become permanent. Maturity means admitting mistakes, learning from them, and correcting them. Inauthentic individuals often resemble clouds. When they disappear, clarity follows. Contentment is not obtaining everything you desire, but recognizing what you already possess. Jealous individuals may disguise criticism as praise, only to undermine you in your absence. Rather than confronting their insecurity, they may pretend indifference. We learn from every person who crosses our path. Some lessons hurt, Others do not, but each carries value. Claims about loyalty, attraction, or personal behavior often reflect individual beliefs rather than universal truths. Finally, certain physical phenomena, such as nocturnal physiological responses in men, occur naturally and are not necessarily linked to conscious thoughts or romantic dreams. If something in this video resonated with you, don't just scroll away. Like the video so the algorithm knows it matters. Tell me in the comments which psychology facts stayed in your mind. And send this to someone who needs clarity right now. We're building this channel from the ground up. Our goal is 1,000 subscribers, and every single click brings us closer. Every like, every comment, every subscription makes a real difference. Please support the mission and join the inner doctrine.